Comparison is one of those things we know we shouldn't do, but it creeps in. It's subtle. You're not just sitting there hating your life. You're scrolling, noticing that you see someone get what you've been praying for. Instead of being bitter, you just start asking, what am I doing wrong? Why does it seem that everyone else is ahead? We were never supposed to be exposed to every person's every minute. That's what it seems like is happening now. Ever since COVID, there has been an overexposure of what we do in our daily lives. It's so easy to let this comparison rob you of joy. It truly is the thief of joy. That's how it starts, not with jealousy, but with questioning. Questioning why things are the way they are, why you haven't received the things that you are looking for, and why God isn't hearing you. That's exactly what Satan wants. Welcome back to another episode of What the L. I'm your host, Elle Kreamer. And if you are new here, thank you so much for stopping in. I really appreciate it. If you are returning, good to see you again. I hope you're doing great. And without further ado, let's just get into it. The enemy doesn't always have to tempt you with just sin. Sometimes he can just tempt you with discontentment. The opposite of discontentment is obviously contentment, being content with what you have and where you're at and what's going on now. Comparison is something that I've struggled with a lot this season because I have been so hyper fixated on what everyone else is doing that I'm unable to see the gifts that God has given me right in front of me. I'm sure there's somebody sitting in your spot wishing they had exactly what you have going for you right now. Satan will take your eyes off of what God is doing and convince you you're missing out on something when you're not. How many times in the Bible does it say do not fear? 65 times. It says in the Bible, do not fear. But yet we still overthink our way and let our anxiety cause us to go into a downward spiral because we don't understand why we aren't where we thought we would be by now. Maybe you're looking at your life and you're wondering, how did I not end up there? How am I still here? That is exactly what the enemy wants. He doesn't have to create anything. He just has to contort your view on your life. That's exactly what he will do. Here's the truth. Comparison blinds you to your own blessings. It allows you to only see the sufferings. Take a moment to reflect on the prodigal son. So, if you don't know what the prodigal son is, there were two sons. They were both offered an inheritance, and the father gives them their inheritance. One of them goes to a foreign land, squanders all of his money on things that he shouldn't have. And the other stays working in the field, doing what he's always been told to do, doing what's right in the eyes of his father. And the son knowingly comes back after squandering all of his money, feeling ashamed, feeling like he doesn't deserve the scraps that the dogs will eat at the table, knowing that he would literally make himself so small to just be able to eat, to be able to survive. He comes back so ashamed, and his father comes running to him. And the other brother sees this, and he starts to compare himself. The father embraces his son and says, "We have to throw a feast because my son was dead and now he is alive again. He was lost and now he's found." And although the son was unworthy of his father's love, the father gave it to him anyways. The older brother, from working in the field, sweating, doing what's right in the eyes of his father, comes so angry and can't even refer to the brother as his own brother. He doesn't even recognize his own brother as his brother. He says, "Your son left, and I've been here working for you every day, doing what was right in your eyes. Yet you want to throw him a feast. You've never wanted to have a feast for me. You've never, not once, wanted to have a feast for me and my friends, but you want to have a feast for him whenever he's done nothing that you've said for him to do. How is that fair? How does he get all of this when I've done everything right and he's done everything wrong? Why is he being celebrated? Why is he being thrown a party? Why is he getting a feast whenever everything he has done was what he was not supposed to do?" The older brother says, "I've been faithful. I've done everything right." But when you live in comparison, you start to see God's blessing as an injustice to you. Grace is not a pie. It doesn't run out of slices. But how lucky was the older brother to even have favor from his father? Because he wasn't even able to notice the blessings that were being poured out in front of him. The blessings of being able to see that his brother is back. He wasn't even able to be happy that his brother was safe. Rather, he was so angry that his brother was being recognized for something that he thought he deserved. What if the reason their story looks different is because their assignment is different? You are here on this earth assigned with a mission only that you can fulfill. Not your brother, not anyone else. But the longer we compare and look at other people, the longer that we prolong our own blessings because we are too focused on what feels like suffering whenever other people win. When other people's victories are celebrated, it feels like we are losing. But that's not what we are called to do. When you compare your pace, your path, your progress, you are robbing yourself of your peace. And a lot of the times, whenever we do this, we are looking at the thorns of our lives and not the roses. We are seeing the thorns, the things that have caused us pain, the things that have caused us suffering, as not something to be grateful for. But in reality, the injustices that you have suffered are what brought you on the path to peace. The sufferings bring us closer to Christ. Our tears that we have cried make our rainbow. How lucky are we to be able to experience such sufferings to bring us closer to God? And that doesn't mean that the things that have happened to you are good. In fact, a lot of the things that happen to us are horrible. They hurt. It feels like we are broken, but oftentimes we can't see that God is trying to rebuild. He's trying to renew. Walk with your eyes focused on the Lord and not anybody else next to you. Comparison creates competition where God never intended for there to be. It makes you chase someone else's calling instead of cultivating your own. You cannot see God's plan when you're sitting there staring at somebody else's progress. Comparison is the thief of both joy and perspective. You are not behind, you are being built. Rome was not built in a day. Your future will not manifest itself overnight. And the longer you sit there staring at everyone else has, the longer you are prolonging what God has for you. The reason your story looks different is because it's supposed to. Maybe what feels like a delay is God's way of making sure that it lasts. Don't rush what He's still refining. Your time will come and it will be worth the wait. Thank you so much for listening. If it was your first time, I cannot wait to see you again. Make sure to follow me on all my socials. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment. It really helps me out. And if you guys ever have any ideas, DMs are always open. And with that, I will see you on the next episode. Okay. I love you. Bye.